Hey everyone, and welcome to this licensing update for February 2023 already. We've been going through the changes for the past month, see what was happening. One of the biggest things that was obviously released in January was the price increase for foreign exchange currencies opposed to the US dollar. Microsoft is going to do this biannually, so they're going to review all the foreign price lists that they have and adjust them based on how they are opposed to the dollar. That's big, so big that a lot of noise was made in the channel. And we hope to see that this works both ways. So not just increases, but also decreases if certain currencies are doing better or worse against the US dollar. Aside from that, not a lot of additional news. There's some entries in the product terms that I want to go through. There's 6 in total. So let's dive right in. The first one is the audio services piece. Microsoft has clarified in the product terms that Operator Connect licensing terms include Operator Connect for Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Teams Phone Mobile. Just by adding this sentence here, Operator Connect includes Operator Connect for Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Teams Mobile. So whenever Microsoft is referencing Operator Connect, this is in regards to all the different items. Secondly, Exchange Online. They've updated archiving under the core features for Exchange Online to include Exchange Online Kiosk, which you can see here as well. This means that with your Exchange Online Kiosk plan, which is included in Microsoft 365 F3, for instance, or Office 365 F3, that you now have the archiving feature enabled for those licenses as well, which might be a good thing. Exchange Online Kiosk, as you might know, allows you a 2 GB mailbox, so archiving feature can be convenient for these licenses. Then if we move on to Microsoft Azure, they added service-specific terms for Azure Communication Gateway and Azure Private 5G Core. 2 new clauses added all the way at the end of the page. The Azure Communication Gateway is only available for telecommunication service providers that use Azure, and notwithstanding anything to the contrary in the customer's volume licensing agreement, and Microsoft has no defense obligation or liability for any infringement claim for patents alleged to be infringed by the implementation of any standards in Azure Communications Gateway. And standards is defined as any technology specification created by an organization or contractually formed group whose activities include developing, promulgating, or otherwise producing technical standards to be used by adopters or implementers. You, as the end customer, are responsible for obtaining any required licenses directly from the holders of such rights. Then for Azure Private 5G Core, software license clause was added. Subject to the following terms and conditions, Microsoft grants you a non-exclusive, limited, royalty-free, non-transferable right to use the Azure Private 5G Core software solely as part of an Azure Private MEC solution. Customer agrees that it will only use Azure Private 5G Core after review by Microsoft and may be required to assent to additional terms and conditions. For more, visit this link. When we go there, go to forms, and then you can try and get approved to use the Azure Private 5G Core service. Then if we move on to the privacy and security terms, Windows 365 has finally been added to the core online services. They're in their own category. So Windows 365 is the cloud service portion of Windows 365 only is referenced here. It's not about the Windows operating system running on Windows 365 cloud PCs. It's mainly the cloud aspect of it, so the cloud PC part. If you scroll down here, you see the entries for it as well. Windows 365 is SOC 1 Type 2 and SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. And for location of customer data at rest, Microsoft states that when a Windows 365 tenant is deployed within an active available geography, then for the tenant, Microsoft will store the customer data at rest within that specified geography. If you provision Windows 365 Cloud PCs within the same tenant to different available geographies, then for each Cloud PC, Microsoft will store the customer data at rest within that specified geography. That was it for Windows 365 in the privacy and security terms. One big change that has happened a few years ago, and 24/7 problem resolution support was removed as a software assurance benefit alongside training vouchers and planning services vouchers. And Microsoft has now finally also removed the entire entry around this from the software assurance page in the product terms. So it used to read all this in red, how you could calculate your points and what eligibility you had, and what that meant in terms of getting 24/7 resolution support hours. That all doesn't count anymore. This also means that for your discussions with the Microsoft Services team around your Premier or Unified Support contract, you no longer can translate your 24/7 problem resolution support hours into a reduction of your fee of your Premier or Unified Service, Unified Support contract. That's obviously a shame because Unified Support has already been much more expensive than the Premier contract. So if you're being faced with this while moving from Premier to Unified Support, you're probably in for a surprise there based on what they will calculate your price to reflect. So make sure that you have an active discussion with your Microsoft Services sales rep around what this means for you and how you can mitigate any humongous increase. If they don't want to play ball, you know where to find us. We would gladly help you with your problems that you are facing. Finally, Windows Desktop Operating System Universal Print Volume add-on SKUs was added to the availability table, as well as the prerequisite licenses that you need for this add-on. And you can see that Universal Print Volume add-on 10K and 500 units have been added to the table, and that their prerequisites read as follows. You will need an active license for Microsoft 365, any education or enterprise SKU, business premium counts, Windows 11 education, and Windows 11 Enterprise, both E3 and E5 licenses, as well as a universal print license in itself. No other changes here. Check the rest of the product terms as well. No changes, no surprise changes here. So with that, I want to leave you with this short update. I hope you find this useful, and we love to see you again next time. Bye.